The cold, sterile light of the hospital stripped away the glamorous facade of Bellevue, exposing a family shattered by betrayal. I, Amelia Carver, sat in the lingering aftermath of a drink my sister Cassandra had intended to poison me with, only to destroy her own husband, Julian. I had seen through her plan, my hand steady as I switched the poisoned glass of champagne meant for me, with Julian's turning her venom back upon herself. Tonight the mask of her perfect marriage would shatter and the dark secrets of our family would burn to ashes in the fire of her deceit. Before I continue with the rest of this tragedy, if you're watching this video, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so you won't miss the twisted, deceitful family stories I have yet to share. Don't forget to leave your thoughts in the comments below if you've ever witnessed or experienced a betrayal from someone you trusted. I want to hear your story. And stay with me until the end, because what you're about to discover might just make you see your own family through a very different lens. The chandelier's light dances across the Bellevue's ballroom, a constellation of crystal scattering warmth over the crowd. My heart thrums like a caged bird as I, Amelia Carver, stand among the revelry, clutching a flute of champagne that sparkles with deceit. Tonight marks the 10th anniversary of my sister Cassandra's marriage to Julian Warwick, a celebration draped in opulence yet shadowed by a truth I can't unsee. I am 32, a woman carved from ambition and heartbreak, my recent promotion to senior strategist at a top-tier marketing firm, a bright star in a sky dimmed by a failed engagement. But here in this gilded cage of laughter and clinking glasses, I am a stranger to my own blood. Cassandra, my elder by 4 years, has always been a storm. Her beauty, a blade, her charm, a trap. Her smile tonight, as she glides through the crowd in a shimmering gown, is a mask. I have learned to distrust the memory of her hand, sly and deliberate. Slipping something into my drink moments ago burns in my mind a betrayal that twists my gut with a familiar dread. I swap my glass with Julian's, a reckless act, born of instinct, setting the stage for a night that will unravel us all. Growing up with Cassandra was like walking a tightrope over a chasm. Her competitive spirit, a relentless wind threatening to push me off at 15 when I earned a spot on the debate team. She whispered to the coach that I'd plagiarized my speech, her eyes gleaming as I was disqualified when I brought home my first love, a shy poet named Ethan. She offered to edit his work only to weave her charm until he was hers, their laughter echoing as I stood humiliated in our parents' kitchen. Our mother Evelyn and father Richard dismissed it as sibling rivalry, their voices soft with denial. Girls will be girls, they'd say, brushing aside the shards of my trust. Yet I clung to hope, forgiving Cassandra's tearful apologies, her promises to change, each time believing we could be sisters, not rivals. Her marriage to Julian, a kind-hearted architect with a quiet strength, seemed a turning point. I stood as her maid of honor, my heart swelling with tentative joy, believing she'd shed her old skin over the decade. Our relationship thawed not into warmth, but into a fragile civility. Shared dinners, cautious smiles. I convinced myself the past was buried until tonight. The Bellevue's grandeur is a perfect stage for Cassandra's performance. Ice swans gleam beside a champagne fountain. A string quartet weaves a delicate melody, and 60 guests swirl in a haze of celebration. My parents greet me with warmth. Richard's tuxedo, stiff but his smile proud. Evelyn fussing over table settings. Amelia, you're here. Cassandra purrs, air kissing my cheeks. Her designer dress a silent jab at my simpler attire. Borrowed that gown, I assume, she whispers, her smile sharp. I deflect. It's stunning here, Cass. You've outdone yourself, but her grip on my arm tightens. Some of us have marriages to celebrate. You'll find someone when you stop being so choosy. Her words, a needle precise and cruel. Julian appears, his warmth, a contrast. Amelia. You look radiant, he says, hugging me. His eyes kind. How's the new role? I seize the chance to shift focus, challenging, but I love it. I reply, grateful for his sincerity. Cassandra's face tightens. Darling, the Hendersons are here, she says, pulling him away. Her glance back at me, a warning venom in her eyes. The cocktail hour unfolds, and I navigate the crowd. Cassandra's college friend Lila praising my courage for coming alone. Our cousin Marcus making crude jests about my single status. I smile, nursing a single glass of wine, but a chill settles as I notice Julian's gaze, heavy unreadable, across the room. He and Cassandra stand apart, their anniversary. A stage for tension. Not love their whispers. Sharp, unguarded, hinting at cracks in their perfect facade during dinner. I'm seated with distant relatives, not family. Julian's frown fleeting as he takes his place beside Cassandra. Later, he pulls me aside. Need a breather, he says, leading me to the terrace's edge. Cassandra's been a live wire planning this. His voice carries a bitter edge. Appearances are everything to her. I hesitate. Is everything okay? Julian. This feels odd for an anniversary. He runs a hand through his hair. 10 years is a long time to wear a mask. His words hang heavy. I thought marriage would change her, but some things are carved too deep. Cassandra's stare finds us, her flute gripped tight, her eyes a storm. She's watching, Julian mutters, retreating, leaving me with a sinking dread. The dance floor pulses, the quartet's notes giving way to a lively band. I step away to the restroom, needing space to process Julian's confession. The mirror reflects my unease. A woman caught in a web of her sister's making. Returning, I see my champagne glass refilled, a chocolate-dipped strawberry beside it. A card reading, "For my dearest sister, love Cass." The gesture jars too sweet against her earlier barbs. Then in the ornate window's reflection, I catch her Cassandra. Her movements furtive, dropping something into my drink. It dissolves in a heartbeat, her smile sly as she melts into the crowd. My blood runs cold, memories of her college roommate's sudden illness. A job Cassandra coveted, a dinner. She prepared flood back. Not a coincidence, but a pattern. My heart pounds. What is her motive now? Jealousy over Julian's fleeting attention. A need to humiliate me. I can't confront her. Not yet, not without proof, but I won't drink her poison. Julian's glass sits nearby, half empty, and in a flash of defiance, I swap them, my trembling hand steadying as I set a trap, not just for her, but for the truth to rise. The Bellevue's ballroom pulses like a living heart, its rhythm a facade of joy as I stand at the edge of the dance floor, the swapped champagne glass now in Julian's hand. Its secret a coiled serpent waiting to strike my own hand. Grips his whiskey tumbler, the amber liquid untouched, a shield against Cassandra's venom. The air hums with music and laughter, but beneath it a current of dread flows. My sister's eyes, sharp as obsidian, follow me from across the room. Her smile a crescent moon, bright but cold. She thinks I've drunk her poison. Her triumph, a mask she wears too well. My heart beats steady, a drum of defiance as I weave through the crowd. My senses heightened, watching Julian for signs of her betrayal. The weight of my choice to swap the glasses, to turn her trap against her, settles like a stone in my chest. This is no longer just a sister's game. It's a reckoning. A fire kindled by years of her deceit, now burning to expose the truth. The night unfolds, a tapestry of celebration fraying at the edges. Julian moves through the crowd, his charm a polished surface, but I see the cracks. His steps falter slightly, his laughter too loud, too loose as he drains the champagne. I linger near the bar, my eyes tracking him, the band's upbeat tempo jarring against the tension coiling in my gut. Cassandra's gaze darts between us, her composure a thin veneer. I recall a moment from years ago, a family picnic by the lake. Cassandra's laughter as she accidentally pushed me into the water. My new dress ruined, our parents chuckling. "Oh, Cassandra's just spirited," they said, blind to the malice in her eyes. That memory fuels me now. A reminder of her cruelty, her need to diminish me. I won't let her win tonight, but the cost of my defiance weighs heavy. What did she slip into that glass? A sedative. Something worse. The thought chills me, a winter wind through my bones as I position myself to overhear Julian at the bar, his voice low strained. "Another whiskey, make it quick," he tells the bartender, who raises an eyebrow. "Rough night." Julian's reply is a mutter. "Rough life." His eyes meet mine briefly, a flicker of something confusion, perhaps. Before he turns away, I approach my voice, light masking the storm within Julian, care for a toast. I say, lifting his whiskey tumbler. He hesitates, then nods. Why not Amelia? To 10 years, his tone bitter. He clinks the champagne flute against my glass. Drinking deeply, I pretend to sip, my lips barely touching the rim. To truth, I add my words, a quiet arrow. His brow furrows, but he downs the rest over his shoulder. I catch Cassandra, watching her smile tightening, believing her plan is unfolding. My heart races a deer in the forest, sensing a predator. I lean closer to Julian. You seem off everything. All right, I ask, probing. He shrugs, his movements sluggish. Just tired, this party's a lot, but his eyes are glassy. His words slightly slurred, the serpent's coil tightens. Whatever Cassandra used is taking hold. I need to stay close to see this through, but guilt gnaws at me. Did I go too far using Julian as a pawn in her game? Yet I couldn't drink that poison, couldn't let her erase me again. The truth must surface even if it scars us all. The first dance begins, Cassandra and Julian swaying under the spotlight. Their smiles practiced, but her grip on his shoulder is too tight, his steps unsteady. The crowd claps oblivious, but I see her whisper something. Her face a mask of control. His smile falters, and when the song ends, she pulls away. Heading for her friends, Julian stumbles toward the bar. I follow, my mind racing. A memory surfaces, college, when Cassandra's roommate fell ill before a coveted internship. Cassandra's concern a performance as she stepped into the role. I'd dismissed it, then chalked it up to coincidence, but now the pattern is clear. Her jealousy, a venom that poisons everything. I sidle up to Julian. You're not yourself, I say softly. He laughs too loud. Maybe I'm finally free. He slurs his tie. Loosened. Cassandra's always watching, always controlling his words, spill like a dam breaking. I've stayed for the business, the image, but it's killing me. My breath catches, his confession a mirror to my own wounds. Have you tried leaving? I ask. He shakes his head. She'd destroy me, Amelia. You know how she is. His eyes lock on mine, a plea. You've seen her, haven't you? The real her before I can respond. Cassandra appears, her voice honeyed but sharp. What's this, family secrets? Her eyes blaze, a storm gathering. She pulls Julian away, her whisper to him, fierce, inaudible. But her glance back at me is pure fire, a predator cornered. I retreat to my table, my mind a whirlpool. Her act in the window, slipping that substance into my drink, was no impulse. It was calculated, a strike against a threat she perceives. Julian's attention, his kindness twisted in her mind into betrayal. I need evidence, a way to expose her without endangering myself further. The party spins on. But Julian's behavior shifts. His laughter grows erratic, his movements clumsy. He bumps into a guest spilling wine, apologizing too loudly. Cassandra hovers, her face a mix of panic and control, trying to steer him toward the exit. Darling, you're exhausted. She says, her voice loud for the crowd, but he resists. I'm fine, Cass. Let me have this. His defiance is new raw. The drug loosening his restraint. My heart pounds. The serpent's coil is unraveling, but at what cost? I've set this in motion. And now, the truth is rising, a tide that will drown us all if I don't act carefully. The Bellevue's ballroom spins like a carousel of false light, its music a hollow echo as I watch Julian stumble, his once steady frame. Now a puppet to the poison Cassandra meant for me. The champagne glass I swapped sits empty in his hand, its contents unraveling him thread by thread. My heart is a drum pounding with the weight of my choice. Guilt and defiance warring within the crowd, sways oblivious their laughter, a distant thunder. But Cassandra's eyes find me sharp as a hawk's. Her smile fraying a mask, cracking under the strain of her own trap. She moves toward Julian, her steps quick, a predator sensing her plans collapse. My mind races, a river cutting through stone, seeking a path to truth, without breaking us. All the fire within me burns, not just for justice, but for the girl. I was always diminished, always erased. Tonight the veil of her deceit is tearing, and I will not let it mend. Julian's laughter grows wild, a jagged edge to his voice as he sways on the dance floor. His tie askew, his eyes unfocused. Cass, let's dance. He calls too loud, drawing curious glances. She rushes to his side, her voice a forced melody. Darling, you need rest. Let's step outside. But he pulls away, spinning clumsily into a guest wine, splattering like blood on the polished floor. Murmurs ripple through the crowd, a storm gathering. I linger near the dessert table, my whiskey tumbler abandoned on a server's tray. My eyes locked on Julian, the serpent's venom, working faster now mingled with the alcohol he'd already consumed. A memory claws at me sharp as thorns, our high school prom. Cassandra convincing my date to escort her, instead her laughter, as I stood alone, our parents shrugging. She's just confident, they said, blind to the wound that pain fuels me. Now a reminder that her cruelty is no accident, but a pattern woven into her soul. I need to act to expose her. But how the truth is a blade, and I wield it with trembling hands. Cassandra's control slips her face a mask of panic as she tries to steer Julian toward the exit. You're embarrassing us. She hisses, her voice low but cutting. He laughs a hollow sound. Embarrassing? I'm free, Cass, for once. His words slur, his arm sweeping wide, knocking over a champagne flute. It shatters, a crystalline scream. Guests turn, whispers growing. Is he drunk? One asks. It's their anniversary. Another mutters pity in their tone. My mother, Evelyn, moves through the crowd. Her nurse's instincts sharp. Julian, sit down. She says, her voice calm but firm. She glances at Cassandra. What's wrong with him? Cassandra's eyes dart to me, a flash of fear. He's had too much to drink. She lies, her smile tight. But Julian slumps into a chair, his head lolling, rooms spinning. He mumbles, didn't even drink that much. My father, Richard, joins them, his face creased with worry. This isn't like you, son, he says, his hand on Julian's shoulder. My heart twists. The truth is so close, but so dangerous. I step closer, my voice steady despite the storm within. Julian, did you take anything besides alcohol? I ask, kneeling beside him, his eyes struggle to focus. Just the champagne with you. He slurs, his words a spark in the dry grass of the room. Cassandra's face pales, her hands clenching. He's confused, she snaps. He's had too much. But Evelyn's eyes narrow. This isn't just alcohol, she says, her training cutting through the lie. We need a doctor. She turns to the hotel manager, who nods, already dialing for help. Cassandra's voice rises. No, it's fine, he just needs to go home. Her desperation is a crack in her armor. Richard steps in. Cassandra, he can barely stand. This is serious. The crowd parts, guests whispering their eyes. A jury. I see my chance, the veil is tearing, but I must tread carefully, Cassandra, I say. My voice low, deliberate. What was in my champagne? Her eyes widen, a trapped animal. What are you talking about? She hisses, but her voice shakes, betraying her. The manager returns. Paramedics are on their way. He says, his tone professional but strained. Julian slumps further, his breathing uneven. Evelyn kneels beside him, checking his pulse. His heart rate's too slow. She says, her voice tight. Cassandra. Did he take any medication today? Cassandra shakes her head, too quick. No. Nothing, but her eyes flicker to me, a mix of blame and terror. I hold her gaze. My voice, a quiet blade. I saw you in the window's reflection. You put something in my drink. The words land like a thunderclap. Richard's head snaps toward me. Amelia, what are you saying? Evelyn's hand freezes on Julian's wrist, her eyes searching mine. You swapped the glasses, didn't you? She asks, her voice trembling. I nod. I had to. I couldn't trust her. Cassandra's face crumples. You're lying, she cries, but her voice is hollow. The crowd's whispers grow louder. A tide, turning paramedics, burst through the doors, their presence a stark light on the shattered veil. And I know as they rush to Julian that the truth is no longer mine to hold. It's breaking free, a river carving its own path. The Bellevue's ballroom, once a glittering stage, now hums with a fractured pulse. Its crystal chandeliers casting jagged shadows as paramedics swarm around Julian, their voices sharp, cutting through the fading music like a hawk's cry through a quiet valley. I stand frozen, the weight of my swapped glass, a stone in my chest, its poison now coursing through Julian, unraveling the man who carried kindness like a shield. Cassandra's face is a mask of panic, her eyes darting like a cornered fox, her lie exposed in the window's reflection. My parents Evelyn and Richard stand rigid, their gazes shifting between us, a family teetering on the edge of truth's sharp blade. The crowd's whispers grow a restless wind through dry grass as I clutch the edge of a table, my heart a steady drum, beating with the fire of a woman no longer content to be erased. The veil of Cassandra's deceit lies in tatters, but the cost of this truth is heavy a mirror, broken its shards reflecting our fractured bonds. And I must navigate this storm, not just for me, but for the justice I've set in motion. The paramedics work swiftly, their hands steady as they check Julian's vitals. Pulse is weak, respiration shallow, one says. Her tone clipped. Evelyn, her nurse's instincts a beacon, kneels beside them. He's not just drunk, she insists, her voice trembling with a mother's fear. Something's wrong. Richard's hand grips her shoulder, his face etched with disbelief. Cassandra, what did you do? His voice is a low thunder, demanding answers. Cassandra stammers. It's nothing. He's fine, just too much wine. But her words falter, brittle as autumn leaves. I step forward, my voice a clear river. She put something in my champagne, I say. My eyes locked on hers. I saw her in the window, and I switched our glasses. The confession lands like a stone. In still water ripples spreading, Evelyn's gasp is a sharp intake of breath. Amelia, you gave it to Julian. Her question cuts not with blame, but with the weight of consequence. I nod, my throat tight. I had to know what she was capable of. I couldn't drink it. Cassandra's face crumples. You're twisting this, she cries, but her voice is a hollow echo. The crowd parts their eyes, a silent jury judging not just her, but all of us. Julian mumbles his words. Slurred. Amelia. Truth. His hand reaches weakly, then falls. The paramedics lift him onto a stretcher. We need to move him now. The lead medic says possible benzodiazepine overdose mixed with alcohol. Evelyn's eyes widen. Benzodiazepine. She turns to Cassandra. Did you give him your medication? Cassandra's silence is an admission, her hands trembling. Richard's voice booms. Answer her. Cassandra. She flinches. It was just one pill. Ativan for Amelia too. Relax her. Her voice breaks a confession torn from her. I didn't mean for him to take it. The room spins. Guests whispering. She drugged her sister. On their anniversary, the words sting a swarm of bees. I feel the weight of their judgment. But also my own. Did I push too far, turning her trap against her? Yet the memory of her past betrayals, my stolen debate slot, my lost love, Ethan, her laughter as she took what was mine, burns a fire that will not dim. I made a choice, and now we all face its shadow. The paramedics wheel Julian toward a side room, the hotel manager guiding them. We'll keep him stable until the ambulance arrives. He says, his voice calm but strained. Evelyn follows her nurse's training, a lifeline. Richard turns to me, his eyes searching Amelia. Why didn't you just pour it out? His question is not accusation, but a plea for understanding. I meet his gaze, my voice steady. Because she'd deny it. Dad, like always, I needed proof for you, for Mom, for Julian. Cassandra's sob cuts through. You've ruined everything. She accuses, her eyes blazing, but I see the fear beneath a trapped creature. No, Cass. I say my words. A quiet blade. You did this. You've been doing this. Our whole lives. Evelyn returns, her face pale. He's stable, but they're taking him to the hospital. We need to go. She looks at Cassandra, her voice breaking. How could you do this to your sister? To your husband? Cassandra's tears spill. I didn't mean harm. I saw him with Amelia, talking, laughing. It felt like betrayal. Her admission is raw. a wound laid bare, but it's not enough to heal the rift. We follow the stretcher to a small conference room, the party dissolving behind us, guests murmuring their elegance shattered by our family's collapse. Inside, the fluorescent lights are harsh. Stripping away pretense, Julian lies on the stretcher monitors, beeping, his eyes half open. "Amelia," he whispers, "you saw her?" His words are a lifeline, tethering me to the truth. I kneel beside him. "I'm sorry, Julian, I didn't know it would go this far." My voice cracks, guilt, a heavy stone. He shakes his head weakly. "You did right. She's been..." Controlling his confession is a spark igniting my resolve. Cassandra hovers, her face a storm of fear and shame. "Julian, please, I didn't mean it," she pleads. But he turns away, his silence louder than words. Richard steps between them. "Enough, Cassandra. You've done enough." His voice is a wall, unyielding. Evelyn's hand finds mine, her grip tight. "We'll get through this," she whispers. But her eyes are haunted, a mother torn between her daughters. The paramedics prepare to move. Julian one turns to us, her voice stern. "We need to know exactly what he took for the hospital report." Cassandra hesitates, then admits. "It was Ativan 1 2-milligram pill from my prescription." Her voice is small, a confession dragged from the depths. The medic's eyes narrow. "Mixing benzodiazepines with alcohol is dangerous, potentially lethal. She says this will be reported as an intentional drugging." Cassandra gasps. "No, it wasn't meant to hurt anyone." But her words are drowned by the medic's focus. "We're taking him now. Family can follow as they wheel Julian out." I feel the mirror's shards cutting deeper, my choice to swap the glasses, a spark that set this fire. But Cassandra's act lit the fuse. I turned to her, my voice a steady flame. "You thought you could control me, humiliate me, but you've shown everyone who you are." Her eyes meet mine, raw, desperate Amelia. "I'm sorry," she whispers, but the words are ash, scattered by years of her betrayal. In the hospital waiting room, the fluorescent lights hum a cold song as we sit a fractured family under scrutiny. Richard paces his professor's calm fraying. Evelyn sits, her hands clasped, her nurse's resolve battling her grief. Cassandra huddles in a corner, her makeup streaked, her designer gown a mockery of her unraveling. I sit apart, my mind a river flowing through the wreckage. A police officer arrives, his badge gleaming. "We need statements," he says, his tone neutral but firm, one at a time. Evelyn goes first, then Richard, their voices muffled behind a closed door. Cassandra's turn comes, and she rises, her steps unsteady, her eyes avoiding mine. I wait, my heart a steady drum, knowing my words will shape the truth. When my turn comes, I recount every detail, the window's reflection, Cassandra's sly hand, the swap, Julian's collapse. My voice clear, unyielding, the officer's pen scratches. "This is serious," he says. "Administering a controlled substance without consent is a crime." I nod, the weight of justice heavy but necessary. "Will Julian be okay?" I ask. He shrugs. "That's for the doctors, but your statement helps." As I leave the room, Cassandra's eyes meet mine, a plea unspoken, but I turn away, the broken mirror reflecting only truth. Now, the hospital's sterile hum is a cold wind through a barren canyon, its fluorescent lights casting stark shadows over our fractured family. I sit in the waiting room, my heart a steady drum, its beat tempered by the fire of truth I've ignited. Julian rests beyond these walls, recovering from the poison. Cassandra meant for me, his collapse a mirror shattered, reflecting her betrayal. In sharp, unyielding shards, my parents Evelyn and Richard sit across from me, their faces etched with grief and disbelief, a mother's care and a father's wisdom, tested by the unraveling of their eldest daughter. Cassandra huddles alone, her once polished facade now a crumpled gown, her eyes red-rimmed. Avoiding mine, the police officer's words linger, a stone in still water. Intentional drugging is a crime, and I feel the weight of my choice to swap the glasses, a spark that set this blaze. But Cassandra's hand lit the fuse. The river of truth flows now unstoppable, carving a new path through our lives, and I must navigate its currents, not just for justice, but for the healing that might follow a distant star I dare to chase. A doctor emerges, her scrubs, a quiet blue, her voice steady as she speaks. Julian Warwick is stable. We've administered fluids and are monitoring him closely. The Ativan dose was low, but combined with alcohol, it could have been far worse. Relief washes over us, a gentle rain, but her next words are a warning. He'll stay overnight for observation. Benzodiazepine interactions are serious. We've reported the incident as required. Evelyn's hand tightens on mine, her nurse's mind racing. Will he recover fully? She asks the doctor. Nods. Likely. Yes, but he needs rest and follow-up care. Richard stops, pacing, his voice heavy. Thank you, doctor. Can we see him? She hesitates. He's asked to speak with Amelia, first alone. Cassandra's head snaps up, a flicker of protest in her eyes, but she says nothing, her silence a concession. I rise, my heart a steady flame, and follow the nurse to Julian's room, the hallway, a tunnel of echoes. Each step a commitment to face the truth's full weight. Julian lies in a hospital bed, monitors beeping softly. His face pale, but his eyes clear. Amelia? He whispers, his voice a fragile thread. You saw her, didn't you? The real Cassandra. I nod, sitting beside him. I'm so sorry, Julian. I didn't mean for you to be hurt. My voice trembles. Guilt a sharp stone. He shakes his head. You saved me in a way by showing the truth. His words are a spark, reigniting my resolve. She's been like this our whole marriage, controlling, jealous, twisting everything. I stayed for the business, for appearances. But it's been a cage. His eyes meet mine, raw. 2 years ago, I started documenting it. Her outbursts, her manipulations. My therapist called it emotional abuse. I didn't want to believe it, but tonight you proved it. My breath catches a memory. Surfaces Cassandra's college roommate, her sudden illness, the internship she stole. I'd buried that doubt, but now it rises, a pattern clear as day. Why didn't you leave? I ask. He sighs. Fear not of her, but of losing everything. The business, our reputation. I thought I could endure, but I can't. Not anymore. His voice firms. I'm not pressing charges that would destroy us both. But I'm done. I'm leaving her. His resolve is a river, steady, unyielding. I squeeze his hand. You're not alone, Julian. I'll support you, whatever you need. His smile is faint, but real. Thank you, Amelia, for seeing me, for seeing the truth. As I leave his room, the weight of his words settles, a trust, earned through shared pain. In the waiting room, Cassandra rises, her face a storm of shame and defiance. How is he? She asks, her voice small. Awake, clear, and done with you, I say my words. A quiet blade. She flinches. He's leaving me. Her question is a whisper. I nod. He deserves freedom. Cass, you broke his trust, and mine. Evelyn steps forward, her voice breaking. Cassandra, how did we come to this? Richard's eyes are heavy. We need to talk, all of us, but not here. Not now. He turns to me. Amelia, you did what you thought was right. But this? It's changed everything. His words are not blame, but a recognition of the river's new course. We leave the hospital, the night air cold. A reminder of the clarity we've gained, and the pain it cost. Days later, Richard calls a family meeting. His voice on the phone, a steady command. Sunday, our house, no excuses. The Virginia air is thick with the scent of pine as I pull into their driveway. The house, a monument to memories both warm and wounding, childhood summers of running through sprinklers with Cassandra. Building forts of blankets now feel like dreams of another life. Evelyn greets me, her embrace tight. We'll get through this, she says, but her eyes are shadowed. Richard sits at the dining room table. His professor's demeanor, a shield. Cassandra is already there, her face bare of makeup, her designer armor gone. She looks smaller. A bird with clipped wings. Julian's not coming. Richard says, this is for us to face what's happened. I sit opposite Cassandra, the distance between us, a chasm. Evelyn's hand rests on mine, a quiet anchor. Richard begins, his voice a low tide. I've spent decades teaching conflict resolution, But I never thought I'd need it for my own daughters. Cassandra, what you did was not just wrong, it was a crime. Why his question hangs a heavy cloud. Cassandra's hands tremble, her voice a fragile stream. I don't have a good answer. I saw Julian with Amelia laughing, confiding it felt like he was slipping away like she was taking him. Her eyes meet mine raw. I've always felt less like I had to fight for everything. Love. Success. Attention. Amelia made it look easy. I start to protest, but Richard's look silences me. Go on, he says. Cassandra's tears spill. I thought the pill would make her loosen up, say something foolish, show she's not perfect. I didn't mean for Julian to take it. Evelyn's voice is soft, but firm. You meant to hurt your sister, Cassandra. That's the truth. Cassandra nods. I know I've been seeing a therapist. She says it might be borderline personality disorder, the jealousy, the fear of losing people. It's been there my whole life. The words land like a stone. Heavy, real. Richard's voice is steady. That explains, but it doesn't excuse. You've hurt Amelia. Julian, all of us. I speak, my voice a clear river. Cass, your apologies always came with promises, but they never lasted this time. It's different. You've crossed a line and I need more than words. Her eyes meet mine. Vulnerable. I'm trying, Amelia. I want to change her. Sincerity is new, a fragile seed, but I'm wary. The scars too deep. The afternoon fades, shadows stretching across the dining room. We peel back layers of pain. Richard and Evelyn admit their failure, their dismissal of Cassandra's cruelty as rivalry. We should have seen it, Evelyn says, her voice breaking. We let you both down. I nod, the fire within me, softening, not dimming, but shifting. We can't undo the past, I say, but we can choose what comes next. Cassandra looks at me, her voice trembling. I want to rebuild, if you'll let me. I hold her gaze. I'm open to trying, but it's a long road. Cass' trust is earned, not given. Richard nods. Family therapy, all of us. It's a start as we leave. Cassandra catches me in the hallway. Julian's filed for divorce, she says, her voice raw, citing emotional abuse and the drugging. I'm not fighting it. He deserves to be free. I study her, seeing not just the sister who wounded me, but a woman facing her own brokenness. Take care of yourself, Cass. I say, not a promise, but a step. The healing current flows slow but steady, carrying us toward an uncertain dawn. Months pass, and I agree to meet Cassandra alone. A quiet cafe downtown, its wooden tables, a neutral ground. She sits in jeans and a sweater, her once sharp edges softened. Thank you for coming, she says, her voice genuine. I wasn't sure you would. I nod. Family therapy's one thing, this is harder. She smiles faintly. My therapist keeps pushing truth, even when it hurts. We talk, navigating the fragile bridge between us. She speaks of her diagnosis. Borderline, explains the swings, the fear of losing people. But it's not an excuse. I'm learning to sit with the pain, not lash out. I listen, seeing a woman wrestling with her shadows and the divorce. I ask. She sighs. Finalized. We sold the house, split the business. Julian's seeing someone new. I'm glad he's healing. Her words carry no venom. A change I feel in my bones. I'm dating too. I admit Daniel, a teacher. He's honest, steady. Her smile is real. That's good, Amelia. You deserve that for the first time. Her happiness for me feels untainted, a seed taking root. As we part, Cassandra hesitates. I'm moving to Portland, a job offer, a fresh start. Her eyes are clear. My therapist thinks distance will help me build new patterns. I'm not running, I'm trying to heal. I nod. It could be good, Cass, for all of us. Outside the cafe, she asks, can I hug you? I pause, then nod. The embrace. Brief, but real, a step across the river, driving home. I reflect on the night that broke us, the swapped glass. A spark that burned away our illusions. Julian's freedom, Cassandra's reckoning, my own voice found. These are the currents we ride now, not perfect but honest. The fire within me burns steady, a beacon for the woman I've become, no longer a shadow, but a star shining for herself. And for those who choose to see the healing current flows carrying us toward a dawn we'll shape together one truthful step at a time. I truly want to hear your stories in the comments below. If any part of this story resonates with you, please hit that subscribe button and share it with someone who might need to hear this setting. Boundaries with family isn't just okay. Sometimes it's necessary for your own healing and self-discovery. Thank you for taking the time to listen to my story. And remember, it's often our most painful experiences that lead us to unexpected growth as long as we have the courage and honesty to face them.